complexes of CBSE schools hosted by the Sahoday Samiti GWALIOR in collaboration with CBSE commenced on 17th January 2022. The program commenced with a graceful dance performance by students to the auspicious Saraswati Vandana and welcome address by the chairperson of the Sahoday Samiti GWALIOR, Mrs. Nishi Mishra. Honorable Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Sri Shivraj Singh Chauhan, presided as the chief guest of the inaugural session and inspired the audience with the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. In his exemplary speech, he stimulated the students to be on a journey towards truth, knowledge, and holistic development. Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Education, Government of India, Dr. Subhas Sarkar, also graced the inaugural session and asserted the supreme power of knowledge, unity, collective thinking, and cultural sharing. He also highlighted the micro-learning program launched by Honorable Prime Minister, which concentrates on competency-based education system. The need to endorse innovative and children-friendly education by concocting combinations of experimental, scientific, and social skills, competency-based education, and meaningful and joyful pedagogies was also highlighted during the inaugural session.
For this year's annual Sahoday conference is Punarnava, Rediscovery of India at 75. It will throw light on the vision of the National Education Policy 2020, which aims at building a globally best education system rooted in Indian ethos and traditions and transform India into a global.
The school leaders were also implored to facilitate students to partake in Ek Bharat Shresht Bharat campaigns, an e-souvenir titled Amyotsav, celebrating 75 years of independence under the theme Ek Bharat Shresht Bharat and featuring case studies on preservation of heritage, was released during the inaugural session. Also, a digital art gallery, Nav Kala Vithika, showcasing extraordinary artistic skills of young students of CBSE schools from across the country, was inaugurated. The keynote speaker of the conference, Dr. Rudra Pratap, Vice Chancellor of Plaksha University, spoke of the need to reshape our education paradigms to incorporate hands-on learning, critical thinking, and communication, enabling students in Indian schools to absorb, analyze, and apply information so as to carve out passionate careers for their future. During the session on Our Games, the New Books, the eminent panelists Dr. Chitra Balakrishnan, Program Lead, Cyber Security, Open University, United Kingdom, Professor Kavi Arya, Principal Investigator, E-Yantra, IIT Bombay, and Mr. Shrikant Shiralkar, expert on use of games in education, presented and discussed ways in which gamification can make the learning experience more interactive, engaging, and inclusive. In the fourth session, the topic of using music as a teaching tool was explored by experts in the field, Mr. Anil Srinivasan, founder, Rhapsody Music Education, and Mr. Karthik Raman, singer, composer, and curriculum designer. Alongside their soulful and melodious performances during the session, both the speakers kept the audience engaged by drawing connections between music and school subjects such as mathematics and science. In the following session, Mr. Patanjali Jha and Mr. Shopanno Banerjee shared a common vision that students as climate change activists can lead us towards a more sustainable future. Day 1 of the conference ended with a vibrant session on storytelling. Storytellers Simi Srivastav and Aparna Atreya presented creative and expressive stories to the audience, explaining how storytelling can be an effective pedagogy across different levels of education. The second day's session commenced with an engaging panel discussion on archaeology, uncovering the past to impact the future, wherein the experienced panelists Dr. B.R. Mani and Dr. Simadri Ota addressed on how students could take an interest in archaeology and work towards the protection, conservation, and restoration of monuments. Padma Shri Sushri Nivedita Bhire and Dr. Veronique Nicolai, during their session, harbingered the oldest form of body, mind, and spirit exercises, yoga, and meditation that has been passed down to us from ancient India. The third session of the day was a panel discussion on mental health and its importance during the pandemic times. The three experts, Dr. Sameer Parekh, consulting psychologist, Fortis Hospital, Dr. Kavita Arora, co-founder Children First, and Dr. Gitanjali Kumar, consulting psychologist, Akar Counseling and Wellness Center, answered questions related to managing mental health.
Good afternoon and a cordial welcome to the open house session with CBSE. I deem it a privilege to welcome Sri Manoj Ahuja, IAS, Chairman CBSE.
There's a lot of thinking and designing and implementation to carry out things successfully.
Having said something in the month of March, April, would be 2 hours papers, subjective, and now we will be conducting this examination by fixing the examination center across the country.
Give clear indication that there is learning poverty or the learning gap existing after the pandemic. So in unusual circumstances, unusual decisions have to be taken, unusual interventions needs to be made. So
yes, Nisi ma'am, basically कोविड पैंडेमिक के कारण जो आउटडोर गेम्स थे, जो बच्चों के फिजिकल फिटनेस के इश्यूज थे, वो सफर जरूर किए हैं.
During the concluding session of the day on sports as a character-building element in a student's life, the expert speakers Padma Bhushan, Mr. Pulela Gopichand and Mr. Saba Karim, former Indian cricket player and cricket administrator, deliberated on how participating in sports activities improve efficiency, fitness, and also builds a strong character.
This too must come to a close. We thank you for being a part of this august gathering and look forward to more occasions where we get to come together. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.